Okay, friends, let's do a quick, easy upcycle on these Levi jeans using some leftover straps of a quilted blanket that was used in a previous upcycle. This is the before. We already have our side inserts cut and measured. Now it's time to open up the jeans and insert this in our side seams. At the top of the waistband, add a piece of medium to heavyweight interfacing. Once that's secured on, go ahead and serge that edge, turn it under, and then top stitch. Carefully consider how much you want to take out and where you are going to make your cuts. Okay, a great tip for helping to cut straight is to pin your side panel on top. And as I pinned, I made sure that the center of my panel was over the center of my side seam. Okay. Okay, friends, this is what it looks like after I've cut my side piece out. And this is working really well because I do want more of my design element that's going to come from my side panel to be positioned toward the front of my jeans versus directly on the side seam. And then I also have this that I need to contend with. I want to get this nice and flat. I'm basically just going to take this pocket away completely. So I'm just going to pin this down. Make sure everything is laying nice and flat. And then I'm just going to run a basting stitch down here to keep that flat. And then I'm just going to go over these stitches here and stitch that down again so that it doesn't, crinkle up like it's doing on this side. I want it flat. Okay, friends, now this pocket has been stitched completely closed. I did use a thread that matched the denim, so you can't really see the stitching. So I'm just going to go in and cut out all of this excess pocket fabric because I'm not going to need that anymore. And then I'm also going to clean this up. I'm just going to taper that. I'm going to cut right into that, nice and smooth. You guys know I don't like to rip stitches, but with upcycles, sometimes it's unavoidable. I need to take this off the belt loop because the stitching there is just way too thick. I don't want to torture my machine, and I need that as part of my seam allowance to stitch my panel onto, which I'm so excited. I think it's going to be really cute. Okay, friends, now it's time to cut the other side. So this is what came off of the first side, and I'm going to use this for a cutting guide. I'm going to take these rivets from the front pocket, and I'm going to match this one up to this one, laying right sides together. I'm just matching those two rivets up, and then that way I'm cutting at approximately the same spot on the other side of the jeans. Yes, checking here because remember I had to take the other belt loop off right here, so that lets me know I'm on the right track. I'm going to go ahead and pin that on all the way down and then make a cut. Checking this side seam and matching this side seam down. Yes, honey, precision. Now, all of these small details and the way you cut is going to depend on several different variables. It's going to depend on how your jeans are constructed. It's going to depend on how they fit you before you start making cuts. It's going to depend on how you want them to fit after you make all of your cuts. So this is not an exact science or a one-way fits all. I'm just showing you guys the process of how I am upcycling this specific pair of jeans. There are multiple ways to do this. You can simply get a pair of jeans that's too small and go down the center side seam and open them up and then figure out how much you need to add that way, etc., etc., etc. And even if they don't fit precisely, you can always go back and add more fabric or take more fabric away. So no worries. Okay, friends, I want to share this little tip with you guys that I do when I do things kind of using these unconventional sewing methods with my upcycles. For example, I want to check and make sure that I have the same amount of fabric left over on left and right fronts and left and right backs where I'm going to be inserting my side panels. So to do that, I've placed right sides together after I've opened both sides up, and then I've pinned them along here at the inseam stitch, okay, on the inner part of the leg. And so this side looks pretty good. You want to check both sides, making sure you have it folded really well. Right here, we may have a little bit of an issue, like if I measured how much is from this pocket to this pocket, how much fabric. Yeah, see, just like right in there, there's a little bit more. I like to do my upcycles with integrity, so I'll probably go in and skim that up a little bit, skim that off, I should say, so that they're more equal on both sides. And you have to turn it over and look at both sides to make sure. Aha, see here? But make sure you have it folded properly. Yeah, because that one was actually okay. But just along in there, that can make a huge difference when you put your clothes on. If you have a bigger pant leg on the left side versus the right. So I'm going to go and I'm going to clean all of those little parts up. Looking at this one, this side looks okay, but when we flip it over, we have to make sure that, yeah, because I'm checking here and make sure this seam matches. So this is telling me that if I measure this, and then if I flipped it and measured this, this is going to be bigger or longer because, so yeah, little things like that. I'm going to clean that up now before I add my side panels in. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. Okay, peeps, this is what they're looking like. The exciting moment is here. Time to go ahead and insert my side panels. There's a lot of things I could do. I could wash them and let it fray and top stitch and have a little fraying situation here, but I think I want a much neater look for the jacket that I'll be wearing these with or making them to go with. So I'm just going to turn right sides together, starting on the fronts, stitch that down, turn them inside out, and put right sides together. And of course, this will be matched up. I'll be doing the same thing on the back. Okay, friends, so you may have noticed earlier when I was making my cuts that I didn't appear to be making any seam allowance. That was deliberate because the jeans were already too big and I thought that I did not need it. However, I was wrong. Like I said earlier, sometimes you have to just go through the journey and enjoy the process of discovery when doing upcycles. I discovered that I didn't have enough to fit. They were too small. So I had to go back in and add a second panel here. This is what it looks like on the wrong side. So I'm trying to keep it neat. But yeah, now that the second panel has been added in and top stitched here, I also top stitched on the denim. Now I'm going to go ahead and put my right sides together. Flip it so you can see better. Flip it this way. Now I'm putting right sides together and I'm going to make my seam, my side seams. I think though I'm going to taper in a little bit at the top of the waist here. See where this is wider than this? I'm going to taper there. I'm going to cut that first. I'm going to cut it. And then I'm going to put, let's see, how am I going to do this? Yeah, I'm going to sew right sides together all the way down the side seams, leaving this part here at the top, and then eventually I'm going to turn it so that it matches both here and here. Okay, friends, adding the extra side panel is just what was needed. These are looking so cute. Let me go ahead and style these. I'm going to put these on and then I'll talk about how I finished the bottoms of the jeans. Whoop, whoop. Let me show you guys what I did with the waistband in the back. Now these were a pair of men's Levi Strauss, and you know they don't make them to curve over your backside because you know men don't have as many curves, and so this part was sticking out in the back. So what I did is I just went back in here and took the stitching out right along here and fed some elastic through. That casing was already existing and I just fed it through to help pull that in the back, and oh my, it made all the difference. Also want to show you guys the hem up close. What I did for the hem, I made what do you call it? I guess it would be like, I used the same technique for using bias tape, except I didn't cut the fabric on the bias. So I made this binding, if you will, out of the two coordinating fabrics that I was working with, and I bound that all the way on both sides and along the bottom, both sides of my split, front and back of my split, and on the bottom of my hem. And there's that back elastic. It really drew it in really nice for a good fit. All right, here's the jeans, you guys, up close and personal. Hey, I took a pair of, I think these are Levi's that I thrifted. Just opening bad boys up down the seam, the side seams, left a split. This is an upcycling method that's been around for a long time. People have been doing this for years, inserting side panels in their pants to add an element of interest and to make them larger. I was doing this in my design work decades ago, so yeah, but I love using the quilted blanket. I haven't done that before, and so woo, I just think they're super cute.